Yo, it's your boy H2O, your potential conditioner. I want to welcome you to another episode of the New Balance podcast. That's right, we're back in the building. We have another one for you. And I told you, as promised, this whole month of May, we are chopping it up. Listen, I have a guest in the building that's so near and dear to my heart. You know, we got a special guest. And you say, man, you always say you have a special guest. Well, to some degree, they are. All of them are special. But today, we really have a special one. I got family in the building, and we're going to have a great time on today. I hope you're feeling well. Listen, put your phone down for the next hour. Trust me, this is going to be very impactful and very helpful. I don't want to waste any more time. I want to jump right in. New Balance Podcast. Show some love for my sister, Rachel Mackey. What up, Rach? I told y'all ain't ready. Y'all not ready. Y'all are not ready. I'm telling you, man. Man, it's so good, Rachel, to have you on. You and I have already talked. We've been talking. We knew this day was coming, and this is just the first podcast of many. Listen, let me give you a little backdrop. My sister, man, we've been, our relationship goes way back, man. We've been knowing each other for a long time. She and I have, we're we just family, period. Her family, my family, we locked at the hip for life. Know that.
Yes.
She and I, we have, not only are we family, but we have done work in the various fields in ministry, outside of ministry. I know she and I, man, we were youth leaders together for over 15 years. She and I have done community outreach to families and communities for over 15 years. I'm trying to think of all the stuff we've done, man. We've done outreaches, we've done lockdowns, we've done back to school bashes, we've had our own conferences, we've gone to conferences. We have a life work as it relates to working with families and the next generation. For those, obviously those that do know her, but for those that don't know, Rachel is, I would say Rachel is a champion when it comes to education. She's a teacher by profession. I don't want to tell everybody everything, but I just want to give them a little backdrop of who you are. And why don't you say what's up, Rach? Tell them a little bit about yourself. Tell us what's going on with you.
Thank you for having me. First of all, it's a pleasure to be here and be back together again.
Yeah.
I'm Rachel Mackey, originally from Dallas, been in Houston since 2003.
Wow.
So, it's been a while.
It's been a while. Okay.
I am a teacher. I've been teaching over 20 years now. Taught all high school English. I'm currently at Milby High School in Houston ISD, teaching English 2 and coaching volleyball. So throughout my career, I coached volleyball and soccer and grew up in Dallas, played sports all my life, started out with soccer, volleyball, basketball, went to Austin College, which is in North Texas.
Absolutely.
Played volleyball and basketball there. So I've always enjoyed, I guess teaching was my call. They called me, I didn't choose it.
Absolutely.
I was the little girl at the end of the school year, and the teachers were giving away like old worksheets. I would take them home in the summer. I was teaching my cousins. We were all at my grandma's house. So.
I know that's right. I know that's
real
right.
School.
Yeah. I
don't know. Teaching is my passion.
Right. For sure.
Kids are my passion, specifically teenagers. So.
Oh, absolutely.
I enjoy
without a doubt. Without a doubt. Man, talk to us, man. You have I was going to say he's a young man now, man. Talk to us about your son, Edwin, man, my nephew, man. Shout out, Edwin. Talk to us about Edwin, man. He's growing, Rachel, man. It's like I didn't see him for a minute, and the next time we saw him, I'm like, he got all this height. his voice has gotten deep. Like, man, what is going on?
Yeah, arms and legs. Yeah,
Absolutely.
12 years old. So we're in
Oh,
the middle school
wow.
stage right now. Yes, he is definitely coming to his own. He still has a passion for um, gaming. He's into
Absolutely.
Fortnite, but also
Yeah.
into making his own movies and YouTube channels. So he's been doing that since he was maybe 6 or 7.
Right.
Had
Right.
me at Target holding the camera while he previews toys and stuff.
Absolutely.
So yeah, so
Absolutely.
he's
It's
really still
purpose.
passionate about that.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's purpose, Rachel. We know that's purpose. And man, I got so much love for E, man. He gonna help me protect my baby girl Nicole. So hey, Elwin, man, whatever you need from Uncle Harry, man, I got you. I got you, man. He's been
Thank
looking out for Nicole since he was a little boy. So we just take a
Yes.
little time, chop it up, man. Like I said, we have we've known each other for a long time, and our families have known each other. But more importantly, we know we've done this work together, but Rachel and I, we have this special relationship, this brother-sister relationship. And man, she knows, man, some of the good, bad, and ugly of my life story, and for her, same thing. And man, we've been in the trenches together. And we've seen so many great things happen in the lives of the next generation. But one of the things I want to kind of maybe start off with today, Rachel, since we're honoring our sisters this whole month, and when you think about mothers, sisters, grandmothers, all those type of things, one of the things you said that, you were called to teaching. You used to get the sheets at the end of the year and take them home and be teaching your cousins. Obviously, that's a calling. Most young girls, when the summer months hit, it ain't nothing about no teaching. We're gonna hit the pool, we're gonna ride my bike. Ain't nothing
Yeah.
about no classroom. So like you said, that was something that that was a calling. When we look at the landscape of communities and our families, we see the breakdown of parents and teens being able to navigate through the seasons and the transitions. And what do I mean by that? We were youth leaders, so most of the time when we would get the kids, they would be entering into the teenage years. So that's 13. And we spent so much time working with them, helping them understand, purpose, vision, who they are, what God had instilled in them. But even sometimes, even knowing that, to see the process of it coming to life and the fruition of it, sometimes it just doesn't manifest. And we're even in a season now when you have things like the pandemic, COVID, and all these other things that we're dealing with in the world. We see families struggling to help their kids go to the next level. And so I know that's a big passion of yours. What would your advice be to parents who are trying to figure it out? And they just like, man, how do I navigate these waters and keep my kid focused during these times? What would you say to parents, Rachel?
First of all, I would say you have to be involved. You have to know what your kids, I guess, their likes and their passions are,
Yeah.
and try to just nurture that and support that, and not try to put your own plans, your own wishes, your own dreams on them.
Yeah.
That's the main thing.
Yeah.
Also, like for instance, for this summer, I know Edwin is involved in, he likes filmmaking. So his dad and I, we got him into a camp this summer, 2-week
Yes.
camp, of a filmmaking camp. So look for those opportunities within your community, even at schools. Some of the schools have summer programs. What are they
Yes.
offering?
Absolutely.
Also, just be open with your kids. You have to talk to them, communicate with them.
Right.
Don't be so, this is my way or no way, but actually have conversations with them. Know
Right.
who their friends are. What are their friends interested in?
Right.
I think that's the main thing. And then
Yes.
even with the homeschooling and kids, doing online, you still have to check in with your kids. Don't just leave it, especially, I'm at high school. And a lot of times the parents just leave it up to the kids. If the
Right.
kids say, oh, I don't have class today, or we're done with class, and they're supposed to be in class on the Zoom meeting. you have to know their schedule, know when they're supposed to be in class, and know what they're doing with their grades, checking in with the teachers as well. Just
Yes.
because they're teenagers, they don't mean that they're mature enough to keep up with their own work and be responsible.
Right.
So just remember that, they are kids, and you still know to take that responsibility,
Oh,
not
wow.
just leave them on their own.
Wow, that's good information, Rich. I want to kind of dig into that a little more. In your opinion, would it be safe to say that parenting when you and I grew up and parenting now, because even though you and I didn't grow up in a pandemic like COVID, there were different pandemics that we grew up through. So would you say parenting and having a hands-on approach, it's a lot different than what it was when you and I grew up? Is it distinctively
Definitely,
different?
especially with technology now. Kids have so much
Absolutely.
at their hands. It's just a click away, and so many distractions.
Yes.
Because sometimes I call my kids now, and the kids who are not performing well, and I'll call them. And one student was just, she was honest with me. I was like, "Why are you not completing your work?" She's like, "Oh, well, I was playing the game." So they're just in the room by themselves. Parents not checking on. Either the parents are at work, they're there by themselves, and the kids are just choosing not to do the work, or they're just these so many distractions.
Right.
And it's just easy for them to be distracted.
Right. And man, that's a big word, distractions, and of course, we're talking specifically right now about teens, but we know as parents, we have distractions that we have to deal with. And you just hit on one, if a parent is having to work, especially if they're a single parent, they're having to work, the time spent with the children, it gets a dent in it, right? And so you're trying to maximize all of these things because hey, I got to take care, make sure we have a roof over our head, and that's real. On top of this, making sure that they're safe, and then if there are kids who may not be, taking class at home, and they have went back to school, that's a whole nother concern. Making sure, hey man, you got to wear your mask, make sure you're social, all of these different things that goes into being a parent. And one thing that I like about you, and even when we talk, you are good at 21st century, not talking just about problems, but problem solving, right? And I think that's the place that we have to move ourselves to. It's like, I know we have these problems, but we have to solve the problems, right?
Yes.
And so to a mother that will say, well, hey, okay, I heard you. I need to check in more on them. I need to be more engaged with their school. But this is the caveat, but I don't connect with my kids. They don't connect with me. It's like I speak a foreign language. It's like they speak a foreign language. How do I do this? And I'm not saying just as a single mother, you could be husband and wife, right? Yeah. Like, what do you say to that? It's like, I don't connect with them. I can't connect with them. It's like, I wish they could go to school all day. I wish they could be with you all day, right? What do you say to those parents, to those mothers, who are trying to figure it out? What do you say to them when they tell you that, hey, I can't connect with this kid? How do you do that, Rachel? How do you bridge that gap?
I think you need to start with just one thing, even if it's just Saturday morning breakfast. This is our time. Sunday morning breakfast. This is when everybody's home. Just put it on the calendar. This is what we're going to do as a family. It can even be, they like to play games. Sometimes Evelyn will ask me, Mom, come play this game with me. Take 10 minutes, 20 minutes. Sit down, even if you don't know how to play the game, just take the controller and, let them teach you. Yeah. Okay. It's not all about you teaching them.
Whoa, okay. I got to stop you right there. Whoa. You said, hold on now. You said something deep right there. You said, let them teach you, right? And we got to talk about that, Rachel, because I think that is a game changer, right? Yeah. Now we understand as parents where the buck stops. I get it. Yeah. But you just said something so powerful. And I'm telling you, I want to confess to the world, I have learned and I'm continuing to learn how to let my children teach me. right?
Yeah.
I think about, my upbringing, and I think about the world that they're going to live in. Is certain things I don't want getting a hold of them. And so I'm really staunch in a bunch of areas. But the truth be told, we've had the success in some areas because I had to learn. My wife is so much better than me, but I had to learn to allow them to teach me. But we still apply the principle. So I want you guys to talk about that, Rich. I think that's critical. I think that is so critical going forward. Break that down. Give us an example of how kids can teach us, right? To make our homes better. How can
you're
kids teach
talking
us?
about these connections, how we're not connected. I mean, if you
Right.
don't allow them, if you're so stuck in your ways and this is the way we did, or this is the way I grew up, you're never going to make that connection, right? Because you're not willing to learn, willing to grow. I mean, you're willing to grow on your job. You go do professional development, or you take these classes to maintain your position, right? Or to move up in the company. It's the same thing within your family, right?
Yes.
Your relationship with your kids.
Yeah.
I love seeing the videos where the parents are doing the TikTok dances with their kids.
I love that too. Yeah.
I mean, it's simple as that.
Right.
Or teaching you how to make a boomerang, or on Instagram, or posts, or things like that. Right. I mean, it doesn't have to be anything really serious. I mean, you're allowing them to teach you that.
Right.
Or, millennials, this whole millennial group, they have different perspective and viewpoints on different things. They're not afraid to voice their opinions. And that's not always wrong. And we should be open, as parents, we should be open to that.
Right. And what I hear you saying is really, you're saying, I use the example of the parent is telling you, I don't know how to connect. This is a way that you connect. Now, let me say this about connecting. I think where we can help parents, or, parents, single mother, no matter who it is, how we can help you is, what happens is we feel like we're losing control when we do that. And I want to tell you, you're not losing control. Trust me, you're still in control. But what you do is you open up and you show them that, just like I'm teaching and training you, I'm open as well. Like,
yes,
it's something about teenagers, and you and I know this very well. First of all, they know what's real and they know what's fake.
Oh, right? Yeah.
You cannot hear me. Yeah. You can't fake it with them. It's either you're in it or you're out of it. But because if you're faking with them, they're gonna smell it a mile away. And so Rachel used an example. She don't know how to play the games, but in those 15 or 20 minutes that she's playing with Edwin, she is tearing that game up. She butchered it up. She don't know what she's doing. But let me tell you what's happening. She's making a deposit in Edwin that she could not pay to make. In other words, he understands that I know that my mom, she'll connect with me in areas that she's willing to have to learn in. Oh, no. Let me say it this way. She's connecting with me in areas that she's willing to have to trust me to help her in.
Yes,
that's a better way. And so parenting it's shifted. This is 21st century parenting. Now, let me say this. By all means, do not throw away all of the old school. Please. That is not what I'm saying. Because trust me, I know Rachel. She is old school with the new school with her son, right? And so am I. We have to have the best of both worlds. But today it's about, we need to be successful, right? And I thought it'd be great to pick your mind. I think you have a unique, I see you as a hybrid. You're this educator, you're this teacher, but at the same time, you're a mom. And I love my kids at school, but don't none come before Edwin. You get what I'm saying? And Edwin is your greatest classroom, right? And so, and you already know he getting ready to enter into these teen years. So it's going to be a little more, some different turbulence, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. And so we want to let parents know, don't think it's strange when a turbulence shows up. You just have to adjust in the cabin. That's what the pilot tells you. The pilot's responsibility is to land the plane. As the parent, your responsibility is to land this plane with your children on it. So you have to give a message not only to them, but to yourself. Okay, guys, we're going to experience some turbulence. So you got to make sure your seatbelt's on. buckle down. It's gonna be a little rocket, but we're gonna land. And what's so sad is I see families that are not landing. And so podcasts like this, man, is designed to help them, right? And
Exactly.
that's some great information, Rachel.
I like that analogy. So I want
Yeah,
to say something about that, the control
absolutely.
and the
Go right ahead.
trust.
Yeah.
Even within the classroom and being a teacher and with the whole pandemic thing, you know, we had to adjust like real quick. Last year, 2020, in the spring, we all went on spring break and nobody went back to school after that.
Know
So, so yeah, it's the whole idea of me not being in my classroom and having the control and then trusting that the kids are going to sign in and that they're going to do the work at that point. You know, it's a quick change. It's a quick pivot we all had to do.
Oh my
Even
goodness.
so, even like being a parent and you're talking about the turbulence, sometimes it's going to be a quick change, a quick pivot that you're going to have to make in relinquishing that or that control or building that trust in your kids or allowing those kids, your kids to go through what they have to go through, but still trusting.
Wow. Rachel, can you, I want you to look at, make sure you're looking at your camera good. Can you tell them, Rachel, that because of the turbulence, because of the change, it doesn't mean they're a bad parent. You're not a failure. You didn't fail. It's a learning curve. Yeah, you have to learn. This is something that's not in the parenting manual. You can't go to the Facebook group and get this answer. You're not going to get this answer off the view. I don't, it doesn't matter. Some of this stuff is on the job training. And so don't think it's right. Yeah. Don't throw in the towel. You're going to need that towel when you cry in the night. You're going to need to wipe your eyes because she said it's quick. You just told them it was quick. So look, cry quick, wipe your eyes, get back in the game. Yeah, man. So to all my, especially my single mothers, all of my single mothers, listen, I'm telling you, life ain't over. Life has not stopped just because you're either single now or maybe you have just been single, either or, right? And it's important. It's important to keep your head in the game. Now I'm gonna put a pin now, Rachel, and I'm gonna come back to it. I kind of want to talk to parents or single parents, especially single mothers. You know, when we talk about this education thing, we understand there's a core group of kids who are not going to go to college. They're just not going to go. It's taking everything for them to get through high school. And once again, I want to tell you as parents, do not be moved by this. Do not be shocked by it. Now, what we have to do is we have to find out, like Rachel was saying, find out those things that they're interested in, the things that they're good at, the things that bring, when you see them do it, they come to life. The things they talk your ear off about, these type of things, we have to find out how to go about pushing them in that area. So what I want to do now, Rachel, I want you to talk about that. You know, we've done so many. Oh man, Rachel has planned. Rachel has put together college fairs. She's taking kids all over the state, out of state. Listen, Rachel has kids who were not going to even go to college because they got exposure, because they went on college tours. These kids not only end up going to college, but they end up graduating from college, have great careers now, all because somebody said, I understand the importance of exposure in education. So Rachel, I want you to talk to, parents, single mothers, families, whomever is watching, encourage them in the areas of what education looks like after high school for different kids. Talk to them about that. How can you encourage them in that area?
First of all, I want to talk about, kids who don't really have a desire to go to college, but, they want to be successful. They want to be able to take care of their family and raise a family. A lot of schools now, they have actual certification programs on campus. So I would encourage parents now, like you have kids in middle school, this is when you start looking at what programs those schools offer. Some schools may have like a culinary program.
Yes.
In my school, we have cosmetology, we have welding, we have HVAC.
Yes.
So if your kid, really doesn't have a desire to go to school, but they can still get a certification while they're in school, and they graduate, they can go straight to work, make good money. That is definitely something you need to start looking at now.
Yes.
Um, Also, for when, as your kids are in middle school, or even as they're getting ready to start to go to high school, if you know they have a desire to go to school, I would encourage them to take the pre-AP classes for your higher achieving students.
Yes.
Look at dual credit programs. A lot of campuses now, kids can take their high school classes along with like their freshman and intro college courses through the community colleges that are near their school or that are working with the school district. So I don't know, kids have so many opportunities now that we
Right.
didn't have in
Absolutely.
school to get a head start.
Right.
They can go into college already, have their associate's degree.
Right.
Look for programs within the school. Sometimes we have like in Houston, we have Emerge, where they have mentors that work with kids with filling out applications, school applications, scholarships. Look for those programs in school, and you can even do that on your own. You can Google scholarships, all kinds of scholarships. And you don't have to wait until your student is a senior to start looking for scholarships. You can start looking now, even in the middle school.
Say that again, Rachel. They don't have to wait until when?
They don't have to wait until their junior, senior year to start applying for scholarships.
Bingo.
They have school scholarships now for young kids. Middle school, your freshman year, start looking at those things. And then I also strongly recommend that you stress to your students that starting freshman year, that's when everything counts. We have a lot of students who think, oh, I can play around my freshman year, it's not gonna count. But when you send off those transcripts for colleges, they're looking at your whole high school career.
Yes.
So it's really important for students and kids to realize that.
You know, I think when we talk about trends, there are a lot of new trends. You and I, obviously, we're probably the last generation who were kids of the industrial age, meaning our parents, especially our fathers and mothers, they would go to a company, and there's nothing wrong with this. Please hear me in context. They would go to a company, and you really didn't have to have a skill, but if you were faithful, you worked hard, you could go work for a company for 30 years. Afterwards, you get your gold watch retirement, you go on.
Yeah.
That day is over in terms of those type of careers. Trust me, they're very, when I say few, and the few that are, they're hanging on by a thread. Yeah. When you look at trends, and I want to throw this trend out, it's just one of many. One of the things that you see popping up everywhere, and they've been everywhere, is like a big thing is coding, right? Mm-hmm. So when you think about coding, that is the future. It's right now. So when you look at, and I want to use this example, when you see a kid that has a bent for these type of things. So Rachel used her son, right? So if you see he loves video games, I don't want you to see it as all he wants to do is just play video games. Now, right. Now I do understand there is a place in the kid's life where too much video games it's not good. It's just not. Yeah. But when you say, okay, he's done his homework, he or she has done their homework, they've done their chores, and you like, hey, you have some free time. In their free time, all they want to do is play video games. I'm going to ask you not to just look at them playing video games. Look at what about the video game that inspires them to play. Yeah. Right. And I want you to think, and the reason I use that example is you may find that they have a bent towards this particular type of thing. So if they do, you like, well, you may introduce to them like at a young age, hey, you know what, I'm going to put you into coding. Now they may not understand what all it is, but at a young age, they do coding in such a fun way through games. But what they're doing is instilling in this particular kid a skill set. And I'm telling you, all you have to do, pick up any magazine, look up, and you find out what coding is, you be like, I might need to get them involved in it. That's one example. It's not a tradition. It's not tradition in terms of what we're used to, going to be an electrician, a plumber, HVAC, those type of things.
Yeah.
It's nothing wrong with any of those. Please still do those. But I'm saying we deal with a generation because of the information age, because of the technology age. A lot of kids, they're not, I'm just telling you, they're not interested in that manual labor like we were. I had to cut grass. We went outside, we worked, we built fences, we built roads, we used our hands. These kids now, they thinkers.
Yeah.
Their minds, they want to create things. So these are just some of the ways you can identify. They're indicators, right? So just like you can indicate a child singing has a beautiful voice, man, they may have opportunity to go to school to do this. It's the same way in the technical things. And so Rachel will tell you there is such a rise in this particular area across education. They realize we have to do something with it. We can't ignore it, right? And I know sometimes it kind of, the baby gets thrown out with the bathwater, but I want to encourage you parents to look at it. I mean, growing up, my mind was I had an incredible mind, right? But it was not poured into in those areas. Part of it was because of my upbringing. The other part of it was because of demand. I didn't have time to do that. I had to work. I had to go out and do things to help carry my load at home. Yeah. So it wasn't that my mom wouldn't have let me do it. Times were different, right? I began to learn these things as I began to be an adult, and I'm like, oh my God, I have this type of mind. I should have done this. I could have went to school to do this, right? So now it's our job to help you. You're in the thick of things now. So Rachel, if you find this in your home, obviously, touching it, encouraging is one thing. What are some other ways can we cultivate these things in our kids? How do we do that?
I wanted to mention about, the manual labor. With the pandemic, I work at a school that's predominantly Hispanic, and my school is over by the Ship Channel. So before I go into that, I just wanted to say since I teach high school, a lot of the kids have, like you said, you had to work. A lot of my students had to go to work because of the pandemic and because their parents lost jobs. But even with that, I would hope that, so a lot of kids or some kids stopped coming to school because they were working. And that's like one fine line that, like we were talking with some of my other teacher friends. That's a fine line you have, especially being a single parent or, someone loses a job in the family. That's a fine line we have to be careful of, requiring our children to work, but then also making sure that you still encourage them to move beyond that and just not, because I'm making money now, oh, I'm good, especially for a teenager. Once they start making money, they think, they've made it, they've arrived.
Right.
So I want to encourage parents to, still cultivate their passion, their gifts, but just let them know, this is something that's temporary. This is nothing that's not going to sustain you.
Oh, wow, Rachel, that's good. That's good.
So, yeah, thinking about students or your child that has this gift of thinking or using their mind, if you see them, like you said, always wanting to play games, look beyond that. It's just not just a game. Or if you see them taking apart things, like pulling things apart, don't always say, oh, you just breaking stuff. They're not breaking it. They're trying to figure out, how does this work?
How does it work? And put it back together.
Or if it is broke, let me take it apart and see if I can fix it and put it back together. So that's a sign that they are thinkers. They're not just, oh, it's broke, just throw it away. They want to fix it. That's a sign.
That is.
Yeah.
That's good.
And then even if you don't have money to do like the camps and stuff like that, look around your neighborhood, look in your circle. Who is doing that job or who is doing what your child is interested in? Wow. Even if it's as simple as like going back to putting up a fence or plumbing.
Right.
I mean, even after this winter storm, there was a demand on plumbers and all these other trades. They don't have enough people to do it.
That's it.
So like you said, we're not putting those down. I mean, we need that. Those are things we need
Absolutely.
to survive. So
Absolutely.
yeah, you just look within your circle.
Wow. That's good, Rachel. You know, the things that I'm doing now, like I know specifically what I should be doing in life.
Mhm.
But I promise you, even though I wasn't able to go to a technical school or a Magna Carta school and any of those things, because I definitely had all those gifts and talents, the hard work, things that built perseverance in me, uh, the things that built never giving up, never quitting in me, is a direct result of those things. So those things are important too, because when they finally do figure out what it is, if they've had those experiences and they've experienced that, it's just like having a degree. It's going to come into play,
Exactly.
right? I think one of the most powerful things, and my uncle told me this, and I never thought of this. My uncle, he's F&B out in the Dallas area. That's what he's done his entire life. He has over, I want to say like 40, maybe like 40, 41, 42 years of experience in this area. And I can literally say he's gone from level to level to level to level, from faith to faith to faith. And he's at the top level making great money. Now watch this. There are people from all over the world they've been to the top culinary schools. They've been the training. They work with some of the top chefs, restaurants. None of them are his boss. He's all of their bosses. Watch this. The only thing that he has in that field, he has an F&B certificate that he got at Galveston College. The rest of his experience has been experience.
Experience, exactly.
He has the experience in this one field. And I don't care who they send in, they can't touch him.
Yeah.
And he, the way he was like, it's mind-boggling. It's like these guys, how much it costs for them to go to school. They've been overseas and done all these different things, but yet he has this certificate from Galveston College.
Yeah.
And he runs circles around them.
And so I like that word experience, excuse me, because like even looking at job postings now, most of the time companies, they want you to have at least 2 to 5 years experience, right, just to, apply for a job. Yeah. So like you said, it's not like it was when our parents, parents were working, they go straight out of high school and get a job with no experience. Now you have to have some type of experience. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yes. 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 And yes. And yes. So there is a point where parents, on the other side is like, hey, get off this game. I need you. Come on. We gotta, just simple stuff. I know this is like, man, y'all are just overkilling it. No, we're not. Hear me. Simple things like, I'm going to teach you how to wash dishes, mop the floor, take care of this house. You will be amazed when you learn just that lesson, when you leave to go to school, wherever you're leaving. Exactly. Because you are leaving. You are leaving. Yeah. Let me say, you're leaving. You leave. You don't even realize that your mom and your dad have taught you management skills over that 10 to 8 year period. You've learned manager skills. You learn supervisor skills. So when you do get the job and you get responsibility, because Rachel will tell you she had to work some jobs that was just unfavorable. It's not what she's doing now, but she started somewhere, right? But those skill sets she had, it caused her to rise to the top every time. So I want to have balance with it, right? And like I said, I'm definitely all for the new and these new innovative ways that we have to learn, teach, grow. But I'm also going to tell you right smack dab in the middle of it, we got to keep that old school there so we can be balanced, right? So, man, Rachel, I think that is great information. I spent a lot of time too. My wife and I, we talk to a lot of single moms, right? And I'm gonna tell you, I'm a champion of single moms, man.
My mom was a single mom and she did her thing, right? Me, my sister, our family, our brother, she did it. She took care of us. We didn't miss a beat. And, you may be on here today and you're looking, you say, man, it's just, I hear what you're saying. And, even though it's good, it does encourage me, but you don't understand what it's like being single. And when I say single mothers, even though we're celebrating women this month, you may be a single brother having to do this. You can still find hope in this. I want to share with you my guest today. you know, she got it going on, trust me. But she, in this season of life, she's a single mom and she's still making it happen. So, Rachel, one of the last things I want us to talk about, I want you to talk to them. All these things you just told them, like all these great things, and yeah, do it. And I want you to talk to them like, you're a single mom, you have a son, right?
Yeah.
You have all the responsibilities of what a married couple would have as a single mom. Talk to them and encourage them like you can do it. What would you say to them, Rachel?
I think what has helped me, I was recently divorced. It wasn't expected. We're talking about these quick changes, the quick pivots we have to make. I think what has helped me is I have to ask myself, how am I going to respond to that situation? I can't control what the other person does or what situations pop up, but I can control how I respond to it and what choice I make in return to them, in response to that. So for me, it's always, okay, this happened. So now what am I going to do?
Yes.
What choice am I going to make? So I always knew I can take care of myself. But now, like you said, I have another person. Before I got married, it was just me. But now I have another person I'm responsible for.
Absolutely.
Now I'm responsible, like you said, paying all the bills, managing time, making sure I'm not just working just so I can pay bills, but,
Yes.
having that balance.
Yes.
So I think the main thing is asking yourself, how are you going to respond to the situation?
Right.
What's your next step? What's your next choice that you're going to make? So I don't know, for example, got a divorce. Okay. We're going to sell the house. Okay. Now I got to find an apartment. I got to find somewhere for me and Edwin to live.
Absolutely.
So that's what I did. I went out and found an apartment. Okay. I'm not going to start crying. I'm not going to, start talking to other folks. I have to make that decision.
Yes.
And then when we moved into the apartment, I made up in my mind. I told Edwin, I was like, we're moving into this apartment, but I guarantee you, a year from now, we are going to be moving out of this apartment into a house.
Yes.
And God worked it out. July, I was signing up. I was having a house built. In May 2020, we were moving into our house.
Yes.
So in May this year will be a year that we have been in our house.
Incredible.
So I just encourage you, make a plan or, make a vow to yourself.
Yes.
This is what I'm going to do. This is what we want. And then work towards that plan. Do what you have to do. Talking about finances, I had to learn how to, balance my finances and take care of myself and save money. And so I got a book, I don't know if most people heard Get Good with Money.
Yeah.
Tiffany Aliche. Yes.
Yeah.
So I started listening to her and following her steps, so I had to make a choice. I had to, this is what I'm going to do in response to the situation that happened. Same thing with your kids. Just encourage them, ensure them that, we're going to get through this together and be open to let them know, this is what's going on. This is our plan. This is what we're going to do. And let's work this together.
Wow. That's incredible. And the reason I want you to share that, see, this is the thing. We're talking about parent. Your parent, when you're a parent, you have a responsibility for somebody else. This is the thing. Yeah. Rachel, she will tell you, if we had more time, we're gonna make more time. This is important because I have to ask you a couple of these questions, but this is what you have to understand. Not only was it important for Rachel to overcome in this is the greatest part of it. her son Edwin gets to see
Yeah,
them
to see
deal
me.
with the
Yes.
bump in the road and
Mhm.
how his mom dealt with it. Now he has, listen to me, in his repertoire of life, because at some point he's going to leave home, and trust me,
Yeah.
he's going to have more than one bump in the road. But because of his experience, he going to know how to respond to it, right?
Yes.
So
Mhm.
parents, single parents, or husband and wife, doesn't matter. I'm telling you,
Yeah.
we have to have a different response. And I'm telling you, as a father, as a responsibility, there have been some bumps in the road I didn't handle very well, right? And now looking back at it, I had to go back and redefine other bumps in the road, because if I had not, that would be the experience that my children would have. And so, in other
Yeah.
words, that's the deposit that they're going to have in life. So, man, it hurt. I'm just being transparent. Man, it hurt.
Mhm.
But don't let pain push you away. Let pain pull you to it.
It
I
should be
had to
your
look in,
motivation.
yeah, I
Yeah.
had to look in the mirror. I had to make some tough decisions.
Mhm.
I had to cut some stuff out of my life. I had to make some new decisions. But trust me,
Mhm.
look where I am now. And now they see what we would call the redemption side of things, right? And
Yeah.
I'm telling you,
Mhm.
your kids are watching every single thing that you do, how you handle it, how you go through it. They may never articulate it to you, but trust me, they're watching you, right? So, Rachel, I got to go here now. See, you done opened up a whole nother can of worms. I want to ask you a question, and I kind of know
Mhm.
the answer, but I really want you to articulate it. I want to ask you a question. We're celebrating our sisters this month. This month, if you're watching, sisters that are watching, these podcasts are designed strictly for you. I don't know who of you been crying out to God, saying, God, I don't know what to do. I don't know how I'm gonna make it. I believe God birthed these podcasts specifically this month for you. So, Rachel, talk to me about three women who either inspire you now or have inspired you. Three women who've inspired you.
I definitely have to say, first of all, my grandmother,
Ah,
Rodley Sims.
oh wow.
um,
Oh man.
so, I grew up in Dallas, so our family is close. So we were always at grandmama's house, right? So
Absolutely.
she was my first role model as far as how you serve in church. She was the cook
Mm,
of the church,
mm.
and during vacation Bible school, she cooked every meal. So, and then I also grew up seeing her. She was, a housekeeper for a family in North Dallas.
Yeah.
So we would always ride with my granddaddy out there, to North Dallas to see these big houses and how she served that family. So I definitely think that I get my servant's heart from her,
Wow.
in that
Incredible.
capacity. Yeah.
Incredible.
And then also my mom, Rita
Yeah.
Turl, I get
Absolutely.
my tenacity from her. I
Ah.
saw how she was able to stretch a dollar, stretch money and clothe and take care of three girls. Um, we never knew we didn't have money. We always went on vacation. We always had, plenty,
Woo!
plenty of toys under the Christmas tree.
I know, right?
She stood in line to get our Cabbage Patch dolls. So
My
I
Lord.
definitely get that, tenacity. If you want something, and she's going to find a way to get it.
Yeah.
And then she always supported us, and anything that we wanted to do, she was going to make sure we were able to do it.
Incredible.
And then the third one would be a high school teacher, Miss Queen Gibson.
Mm.
I didn't have her as a teacher, but she was an English teacher as well. She was always there, great mentor, encouraging, and
Mm.
followed me through college, and always, checked in with me and assured that I was well.
Wow.
So, yeah.
And
So
the
three
thing that you're
strong Black
doing
women.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah, the three strong
Yeah.
Black women. That's right. Tell them three strong Black women. I'm telling you. And you're the makeup of all three. And obviously
Yes,
there are other people, but
definitely.
when you talk about, I'm asking that on purpose, because sometimes, listen, when you're dealing with pain and you're looking for relief, sometimes the pain can make you think or feel out of your mind. And it can be so bad, it'll make you act out of character. And I'm telling you, as a parent, I want you'll think back on, it's like, oh my God, I can't believe I was acting that way. Well, to be honest, the pain that you're dealing with is so it's so excruciating, it'll make us do things that we normally would not do. The reason I'm having Rachel share that is I want you to know that your answer is right in the midst of you. If you could just look through the pain, I'm telling you, God has
Yeah.
He's bought you, He has your answer, and your answer it's not far from you. Matter of fact, many times it's right in the midst of you. If you can look through your pain to see it and then navigate through it to pull out of it, right?
Yeah.
I guarantee you, Rachel will tell you some tough times in her life. She had to gather herself and pull down on the deposits of those individuals
Oh, yeah. So,
to get her
yeah, I would
through.
like to share that.
Absolutely.
I
Go
would
ahead,
like to
Rachel.
share that. So even like in 2019, I had my divorce in October.
Yeah.
Well, going back before that, I had a sister, my middle sister, who
Yeah.
passed away of suicide in September of 2019.
Let's talk about
Then
it.
I
Yeah.
had got divorced in October, was finalized. And then, we were at Spirit and Truth. Spirit and Truth closed down,
Wow.
beginning the end of 2019. Here I
Wow.
am on my own. So I had all these things. Then come March, the pandemic hit, school was closed down. So I
Right.
had all of this stuff that is closing and ending. And
Talk about
I'm
it,
just out here
Rach.
by myself. You're talking about that pain.
Wow.
Now you can't go anywhere. I'm stuck in this apartment. I have Edwin every other week. So there were weeks where I was just by myself. So
Right.
talking about that pain and working through it, it's real. I had to
It
work
is.
through that and
Yeah.
find ways to overcome it, and
Oh,
actually, like
wow.
you said, look at myself and encourage myself, because
Mm,
there was some shame there. You don't want to reach out and tell everybody what's going on,
mm,
especially being a leader in the church,
mhm,
so yeah, so the pain is real. But
mm.
I do want to encourage anybody who's going through it right now, you can come out of it. God
Yes.
has a plan for you.
Mm.
Set your vision, work through that pain, and God will definitely get you through it.
Man, oh, Rachel, that's powerful. I don't know who's watching. You need to grab that, hold on to it until you see the light of day. Listen, we ain't giving
Yes.
up on you. That's why this podcast exists. We won't be encouraged, my sister. I'm telling you, you're
Yes.
hearing from a survivor. My whole time, Rachel, we tease her in our clique. We call Rachel is the sister that will beat you up. You understand what I'm saying? If I was going to a fight, I'm gonna take my sister Rachel with me. Now you can read between the lines however you want to, but if I'm going to a fight, Rachel coming with me because I
Oh
know
yeah,
I
I'm
get into
ready.
a fight.
I'm ready.
Look, she ready. We look. It might be us against them, but I promise you this: I know one thing. She gonna fight to the end. And listen, I'm gonna tell you this: when you're going through something, like she just said, she said she had to deal with some embarrassment. I'm telling you, you need somebody that's gonna fight with you, stand with you.
Yes.
You understand, and have your back. It's important. And
Mhm.
trust me, I know. Rachel tell you, she know. It's man when you dealing with stuff. I'm telling you, the enemy is proficient in
Oh
making you
yeah.
feel less than. He wants you to be
Mhm.
embarrassed. He wants you to walk in shame. But it's the opposite. If you were to press through that, you find a way to depress from that. I'm telling you, that's how you're gonna find your victory. And Rachel will tell you it wasn't overnight. It's a process she
It
had to
wasn't.
walk through. You know.
Exactly.
And so, Rachel, you kind of took my next question because I was gonna
Uh,
say, talk about a pivotal moment in life that changed everything. You just talked about that.
yeah,
Woo!
it definitely changed.
It changed
2019
everything.
was it was a pivot.
Wow.
Yeah,
Until
the
you
whole,
said it. Yeah, when you said
yeah,
that and you was going through, I was like, I remember it because we remember everything, but I didn't realize it in that way. And then
yeah,
you topped it off with the pandemic.
yeah.
Oh, I'm
You're
telling
just
you,
isolated. Yeah.
yeah.
And
So
sometimes you feel like that. It's isolated. You can't talk to anybody, or you don't
right.
want to talk to anybody, but
Yeah,
talk to God. He's always there. Yeah.
that's it.
That's it.
That's it. Excuse me. Listen, all of us have to deal with it in one shape or another. greater, lesser, but we've all been there. If you haven't been there, just keep waking up in the morning. Your day is coming. And but when you do, you have this podcast and information to help you navigate through it. Um, do I want to ask you this question? I think I do. I'm gonna ask you this question. Um, you have no, I want to ask it because I think you could be the poster child for this. We could put your face up on the billboard and run your story. So I'm gonna ask it. What do you learn? Let me say this. What do you learn, Rachel? Who we are along the way. No, I said that wrong. How do we learn who we are along the way without missing pivotal seasons and moments? Because you just coming out of a pivotal season and some pivotal moments. But obviously you found the strength not to miss some opportunities that have been afforded you. So what would you say to the listener and the viewer today? Like, how do we learn who we are? Talk about that, Rachel, because I'm looking at you, it's a new Rachel. It is. It's a new Rachel. If we just be honest, you look the same, but you're not, trust me, I know you. You're not the same Rachel from a couple of years ago. You're a different Rachel. Talk about that.
No, I'm not. Yeah, I am different. I think every situation you face, you should learn something about yourself from it.
Right.
And for me, I learned that, I am strong enough. I'm more than enough. God created me to be a champion, right? So I just had to lean into that and grab hold to that he orders my footsteps. He knows who he's designed me to be. And I have to be able to walk in that and not be afraid. So I learned that, one, I can't overcome my fear. Two, like I talked about, how am I going to respond to this? My response is the key, not the situation, but how am I going to respond to the situation? And then what's my next step? And then I learned that I am still open to learning. I mean, if I don't know something, then I'm going to seek someone to help me.
To help you out.
Not be afraid to, even if it's not somebody face to face, with technology and everybody on Facebook and doing Facebook Lives, like doing the financial counseling just through online stuff, I can do that.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Wow. Rachel, man, I can't believe our time is gone. This is, you and me, we talk forever. We can chop it up, but not just to be talking this about helping people. That's one of the things I love about you. When we first connected, it's all about helping and making somebody else's life better. And one of the things I want to tell you, I want to say this to someone watching. I know a little bit of Rachel's story. Rachel knows some of my story. Let me tell you something. Turn your pain into purpose.
Yes.
If I have to say something that me and Rachel have in common, one thing I noticed, other than us loving the Lord and we're going to live for God forever, one thing I know about her, she's going to turn her pain into purpose. About me, I'm going to turn my pain into purpose. And that purpose looks like we're going to help somebody else, right? And for us, that help looked like helping families and helping teens, man. That's how it manifested. But while we're here, Rachel, you did something, I think it was last year, and it's something you've done all the time, but I guess it was the timing of it because of the pandemic and everything. I remember you posting it. And when I saw the post, man, I was going through the fight of my life. I'm telling you. And you said sometimes you go through, this is something I couldn't share with anybody. I was talking to God. I mean, my wife, obviously she knew about the fight. And obviously she couldn't help me. Nobody could help me. Only God could help me. But you did something I thought a lot of times we need to do to help us navigate the challenges of the times. And you just simply went away. And you went to like this cabin out in the woods. And it was something about your post. I was looking at, I didn't talk to you. We talked later on. But I was looking at your pictures And I'm telling you, Rachel, when I say this, I could look at your pictures and tell that there was transformation happening on that trip. Can you talk about that trip a little bit? Kind of,
Yeah,
lean us into
it's
it, or
called Getaway.
yeah.
Yeah, it's called Getaway. So it's like in near Sam Houston Park.
Okay.
So they just have cabins. You get away. There's no internet, no phones, no TV, none of that. Just rented a little cabin by myself. I decided, it was during Thanksgiving break. So, teachers, we had the whole week off. So I took the first 3 days of that break. I just decided to go by myself. I wasn't afraid.
Yeah.
Walked the trails.
Yeah, that's what I was like, I'm like, I thought you was in Montana somewhere. I'm like, where's Rachel at? Like, Rachel, girl, you better
Sam Houston
look out for
National
me.
Park. I just went out, had my phone,
I
found
thought
the
you was out there
trail,
with some
walked the
bears or
trail.
some lions or something. I'm like, boy, Rachel better be careful out there. But the
Yeah,
thing was
it was
this.
definitely a time to actually get away, reflect, took my journal.
That's it.
and
That's the part
that's
it. That journal.
Yeah. Took my journal.
Yeah.
And
That's was
it
it.
was just time with me,
Absolutely.
to figure out, who I am at that
Who you
point. It's
are.
the end of the year, what I want to move toward.
Yeah.
And it changed me.
It changed you. Right.
Yeah.
I'm glad. Thank you for sharing that. And for me, when I saw it, I did my version of that. In other words, like I'm telling you today, I want you to know, I couldn't physically go away to a place like that, because if I could have, I would have. So I had to do that in my own way. And I'm telling you, Rich, it was a breakthrough that I needed. I got the release that I needed. And so I bought all of that up to tell you, some single moms, some parents, I'm gonna tell you, and Rachel is too. She'll own up to it. You looking at two workaholics, right? We grind. I show we grind. But my wife is helping me ungrind, if you will. And those times are very important to recalibrate, to reboot, to refresh, and to rejuvenate. And I just want you to know, Rachel, like it was, I don't think you posted it to you other than just saying, hey, man, I went away and this was just a great weekend for me. But I just want you to know personally, as you call me big bro, you help your big brother. It's like, man, I need to get away. And parents, I know you like, well, when I'm gonna get away? I work and I come home to the kid. I got this. Listen to me. Sit down. Find the time. You may not be able to go away for 3 days. It may just be one day. But if you can go away for one day and get whatever you need, you got to start somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
You got to figure out what your thing is. It may not be going out in the woods like Rachel, or it may not be getting a 2-day sabbatical like I did, but you have to find your thing. Listen, life is hard.
It is.
But you have to live it hard. And part of living it hard is there are times where you just have to break away, right?
Yes.
You just have to break away. And unfortunately, Rachel, we're going to have to break away from this podcast. I hate it. I love it.
It was good.
This is very good. It's going, look, you've helped me. I feel so much better just having this conversation with you. So to all of our viewers, listen, find somebody, find that. I'm gonna keep saying it. Find that. I want to end the podcast today talking about Rachel. Man, if you want to hear more of her incredible story, and you want to hear more of her just her life experiences, man, we have an event going on this summer, July the 17th. Oh my God, I cannot wait. Rachel is one of our life coaches who's going to be partnering with us. We're going to be in East Texas. If you're anywhere near East Texas, man, listen, go to Eventbrite, type in Hope Symposium, register. The registration is free. Sign you and your family up. It's going to be an incredible time. It's going to be a time of hope and inspiration. We're going to encourage. That's my hometown. My friends have said, hey, we're going to go back with you. We believe in you. We believe in your vision. And look, we're going to go help uplift some heads that have been hung way too long. We're going to bring some hope in the community. And know this, we come into a community near you. This is just the beginning. We're going to have these Hope Symposium. We're going to look, we're going to shake the state of Texas up. Get ready. You
Yeah.
can't stop it. We coming. It's our time and it's our turn. So we coming. We're coming. If you want to know how to partner with us, you can hit me, text me, email me. You can reach out through the YouTube channel to get more information. Um, Families, if you have kids, teenagers, be at this Hope Symposium.
Mhm.
Every life coach, man. And then I'm not so much excited about that. We're going to do some things. We got a lot of exciting giveaways. We're giving away 2 scholarships, man. I'm like, man, some families going to be blessed when they leave
Yeah.
there. And not after that. After the sessions, we're going to have a breakout session. So all of our speakers, man, they're going to be posted up at their table. You'll have a chance to actually go over and interact with them. They'll have materials there. It's just going to be a great day, man, to get some hope. And
Mhm.
we're really, really excited about it. Rachel, before we get out of here, do you have any closing things, anything you want to share with everybody? I'm just glad, I'm proud to be your brother, man. I'm glad God crossed our paths, and we
Yeah.
know we still have so much work to do. And I'm excited about the work that we're going to be doing. So anything,
Yeah.
Rachel?
I just want to say to stay encouraged. Don't be afraid to make connections with your kids, even if it's just, like you said, starting off slow, doing that one thing, have a set time to connect.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, listen, man. Listen, we bought you another one. I'm telling you, we bought you another one. As we always say here, it's strength for today, sustenance for tomorrow. And it doesn't matter who you are in life. All of us will find ourselves in need of a new balance. It's your boy, H2O, your potential conditioner. We love you, and we'll see you next episode. Peace.